Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast that says, hey, remember that thing? I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton, and with me is my other host,
Chris Mack.
Waving a little Lego bunny, right?
Easter
bunny. Well, it's a Lego. It's made of Legos.
But it's an Easter bunny, all right?
It's not Easter yet. It's only... we're recording this
It's always Easter.
Bulk. However you say it. I keep screwing it up, but it's the halfway point between the equinoxes.
That's fine. I don't know.
So it's not spring. It's not spring yet.
Listen, if there's chocolate, it's always Easter, okay? That's what I say.
I mean, I did buy some at Target.
It's Easter, baby.
2 for $10, baby. Well, actually, I've planned a movie night for us and friends and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna get party supplies obviously a little closer because it's kind of at the end of the month. And then I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to get, at least one part of it. February 15th, baby. We're gonna go get the post Valentine's Day candy on the cheap for everybody.
Hell yeah.
Get some Reese's for
cheap.
My
god, dude. That's gonna be crazy. We're gonna come out with a mild sugar high. I can't wait. Cannot
It's
wait.
Gonna be awesome.
Oh, I'm gonna indulge like an idiot. It's gonna be great.
Good times. But speaking of good times, we're having a good time with you guys listening to us talk about Sex and the City from start to finish. I've seen it like too many times. Chris hasn't really seen it at all. And we are on the final season right now. We're on season 6B, episode 2.
Yeah, baby.
Where it's like probably like season 6, episode 14 if you don't abide by their AB nonsense. I don't.
I like that because that's how I've been marking it in my notes. I've been
me
6,
too.
episode 2B. So because it says 2 on the description and on HBO Max, it says 2, but I'm like, nah, it's 2B. We've already got through 2. It's 2B.
I know it threw me off on the HBO Max. I was like, but it's
like, did I start over?
I was like, oh shit! I did. I thought I lost like my place somehow because I forgot from my old job. I gave a lot of people that HBO Max password for work purposes.
Yeah.
But I was also kind of like, if you're in your free time and HBO's not being dicks about passwords, Netflix,
right? I was just about to say that. I was like, Netflix is getting pissed off. It's like, oh, we're charging you so you make more better content. Well, then make better content. All right, how about that?
Stop canceling content people want.
Make us believe that that's why you're trying to overcharge us again. It was because you're making better content by producing better content. I watched you people, funny, but like we've seen that before. It's just guess who's coming to dinner again. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's just.
But this time the guy's white, so it's different.
I mean, Ashton Kutcher did that with fucking.
He did do that with
Zoe Saldana. Yeah. So
man, we haven't even seen the flipped version. We've already seen the flipped version.
That's what I'm saying. They need to do. Surprise me by doing the original version where a black guy comes home to a white girl's family. How about that? Let's flip it back on its head. Even then, it's still not an original idea, but the whole flip thing. We've done it. We flipped it twice. We get it.
Flappies.
You know what I'm saying? Just because you add Eddie Murphy and Julie Louis-Dreyfus to it, that doesn't mean it's a different concept. It's just a little bit funnier now. That's all.
Yeah.
Because it was funny. I mean, dude, Julie Louis-Dreyfus in that movie, the improv between her and Jonah Hill, magic.
She's
magic, man. Magic.
She is just amazing.
By the way, speaking of magic, while you're already here, people, you've been watching this long. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of a like on that video right there. Yeah, you see the one with the little thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that thing. You know what I'm saying? Help us out with the old algorithms. Comment something. You know what I mean? Tell us if you saw you people. Tell us what you thought of it.
Yeah.
And make sure you subscribe it. Hit that little red button, one that says the little bell icon. Hit that thing. Make sure you get notifications for new episodes every Monday. Let's get it.
Do all the things that work your magic for us.
Work that magic. Pause. That sounded sexual as fuck. Work that magic on my YouTube.
Work that magic.
Yeah. I like that video. Oh, goodness.
ASMR. Work that magic.
Woo! Oh,
let's crack my knuckles into the mic. I'm just kidding. I didn't. Let's get into the episode. The episode's called The Ick Factor.
Yeah.
And I think Carrie's icks are dumb, but we'll get into that.
They're all dumb. They're all icks are dumb. Okay, look.
Who do you want to start with?
No, to be fair, the icks, like, as a dude, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, it is very old school. But here's the thing. That's the funny thing. It's like the icks that they're icking about. It's like, it's old school, but like at a certain period in time, that was the norm. Like, that's how you showed, that's how you like wooed women. You know what I mean? Like, first date, you brought them flowers. Now, if you bring first date flowers, they were like, oh, he's doing too much. It's like, but that was the norm. That's how you showed, that's how you courted the women back in the day. It's wild how, like, the times have changed.
Yeah. Well, let's just get into that plot line, because it's Carrie's plot line.
Yeah.
So she is, when the episode kicks off, she's hanging out with Alexander up in his beautiful loft, and he's playing piano. And she's like, oh, that's pretty. What is that? And like, they're by a fireplace and everything. Yeah. And it's something he came up for her, and he says the name in French, which I cannot say, but it translates to the woman with like the sparkling eyes. Sparkling eyes,
yes.
And she's like, wow. And so at brunch, Miranda's like, that's really cheesy. That's so icky. Charlotte, of course, is into it. I'm on Charlotte's side for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, she's like, it's an old world thing. You know, Carrie's like, that's too much for my modern New York stuff. I see the flowers thing, what you were saying earlier, and I just saw this. I was like, I think part of the problem is because you don't meet, because so much of it's over apps and stuff now. If you haven't like sort of met the person initially, so essentially a stranger showing up with flowers for you does feel weird, even if you like know it's
but I mean,
well intended.
You know what else is weird? Paying for a meal for a stranger that you don't know. It's all this, like, it's still a gift. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that because I'm a stark believer that a man should pay for the first date. It's because I was gonna say it should be whoever asked, but let's be honest, it's gonna be a man, so the man should definitely, you know, pay for the first date. However, it's like, how is, I can pay for you a meal, but if I bring flowers, I'm doing too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's all subjective. It's like, how far is your, like we said they said in the episode, what's your romance tolerance? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because, well, and also, unfortunately, I think because people think flowers old fashioned, then you start to worry, do they have like too old fashioned a sensibility?
I mean, we could use a little old fashioned in today's world, I think.
Here and there, but
yeah. I said a little. I didn't say all.
Very little, a dab.
A little.
But in short, step it up, fellas.
Yeah.
But Charlotte's like, yeah, it's just, you know, Charlotte says we're romance starved, and I wrote down amen, sister, because actually I'm not the first person to come up with this, but I've seen it like on TikTok and other places, and the point people were making was like, why do women like romance novels so much? Haha. And it's like, because in the romance novel, the dude is so like into you that's like, and that's like the bare minimum is them being like borderline of like obsessed with you. Everyone makes fun of the trope where it's like, did they hurt you? I'll kill them. You're mine. Like, you know.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and that's great in books, but in real life, if a man is like
no,
borderline obsessed with a woman, then she's like, ick. He's giving me the ick. He's giving me stalker. He's giving me.
It's done differently vibes. In the books.
No,
somehow.
It's not done differently in the books. It's literally the same thing. It's just like, it's not the perfect guy doing it, right? Because when you're reading it in the book, you're picturing whoever is your fantasy. You're Gerard Butler, you're fucking Brad Pitt, you're fucking Michael B. Jordan. Like, that's who you're picturing when you're reading it. So of course that person can do no wrong because they're literally your matriarch of a guy. But like, you know, if it's not that, which most men don't meet that.
The possessive trope aside, but just the notion of them being like so into you, like romantically, and in romance novels they tend to do more things, and so
they did a study of that for what's the book? The one they made movies out of it. Something with Grey.
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, did that. So they did experiment where they let women who were fans of the books, who they thought, you know, this guy was so hot, and he was like, oh, I want my husband, I want my man, my boyfriend act like that, and yada yada yada. And they did it. They actually like train these men to act like the character in the book, and all the women were uncomfortable. They're like, I don't like it. He's too controlling. He's too possessive.
Well, he is too controlling and possessive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's great in the book, but it's never when you implement it in real life. Y'all don't want that.
Yeah, I think just not necessarily the actions that are taken in the books, but just the idea of someone being very into you and like wanting to do things for you. A lot of women get
still call it the ick is what they get. That's what they get. The ick is what they get.
Yeah,
it's doing too much.
Yeah, like everyone Carrie tells them the song name and everyone thinks it's like cringy except for Charlotte. Yeah. And they're like, it's all, it's all artificial. And Miranda is like, Miranda makes her point that she proposed to Steve. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yes.
So moving on to the more stuff with Carrie's back at his place again, and they're both reading. It's like a rainy day. Again, they got like a fire going or whatever.
Yeah.
So cozy. I love it. But then he's like, hey, I'm reading poetry. I'm going to read you a little poetry. Now, I will say he's reading it a little monotone. Like with his accent and everything.
Yeah. Wasn't a good read.
Wasn't the best reading to like woo you into the situation.
Yeah. Agreed.
But he does catch on. He's like, am I kind of doing too much? And then she's like, well, let me read you some of my poetry. And she's reading Vogue, and she reads about this Oscar de la Renta dress. And he's like, oh, Oscar is a good friend of mine. Because of course he is. Like,
I mean, yeah. It made sense to me when he said it. I was like, oh, he ain't flexing. He just knows that too.
Yeah, he just knows him.
He just knows that guy.
But then Alexander does ask, like, why are you uncomfortable with like the poetry and stuff like that? She's like, I write a column based on the assumption romance is like dead or phony. And he's like, do you think I'm a phony? And she's like, no, I'm just not used to it. And I think that's the thing is like, it kind of, everything is well intentioned, but because it's so rare to her.
Right.
Like he's like, no other man has like done this kind of stuff for you. And she's like, no. And he kind of almost looks at me as like, what a bunch of fucking losers. I'm crushing this shit.
I mean, in a way, it's like, I mean, to somebody like him, that's the way you were taught to like court a woman.
Yes.
You put out your effort, you let them know that you like them and stuff like that. It's just unfortunate that like most guys, like I said, because of some people's, romance intolerance, most guys are like, all right, well, I'm not going to do this for anybody anymore because those are the guys that usually get put in the friend zone. It's like, oh, he brought flowers on the first date, disqualified. Oh, he's like spending too much time with me, disqualified. Oh, he likes me too much, disqualified. Like, it's lessons we learn because it's just. I mean, listen, we try. There's a lot of hopeless romantics out there that are stuck in friend zones or ain't getting none. Trust me, they out there.
But then there's also enough girls who are with guys who don't do anything for them. But
right, that's what I mean.
And I do think
but that's the guy that they want, though. But that's the guy they don't want the guy that does the romantic shit. Maybe every now and then he does something, but like the guy that's like always romantic, like every week wants to go on a date or something like that. Y'all don't want that. Y'all want the guy who does romantic shit like every 6 months to a year. Then it's like, oh, that's my husband. I love him so much.
Well, there's got to be a middle ground between the two, and I don't know what it is.
I don't either. I don't know what the middle ground is. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe like every 3 months or something like that. Do something romantic.
Yeah, once a quarter.
Yeah, once a quarter. There you go.
Once a fiscal quarter.
Yeah. But it can't be planned though. That's the one thing you like. I think it has to be every 3 months, but it has to still be a surprise for the girl. Like if it's scheduled, like if we're like, all right, like say it's January, like let's go in. All right, in March 15th, it's date night. It's like if it's that, then it's not the same.
Yeah, well, I think part of it too is the genuine romantic guys are harder to find.
Yeah.
And so you do get stuck with the guys where you, the girl, have to do all the planning to make romantic things happen.
Yeah.
And I just read, like you read about people celebrating anniversaries or things like that, where the guy just like shows up and the woman has done like all the planning and stuff. And it's not always the case, but it's...
Well, I'm gonna also be honest with you too. I would say a good majority of men aren't that romantic. Like,
like
most of the shit, like honestly, most of the time too, like there are some guys who are just naturally romantic, sure, but most guys who are even have a little bit of romance in them, it's like they learn that shit from like watching movies or like maybe if they had like an old school player in their family, like an old grandpa or uncle or something like that might have taught them a couple moves, but like it's not really taught to us like how to be romantic. Unless, like I said, unless you got somebody from the old school that teaches you how.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what do you call it? I do like that he's like, they're losers though. Clearly, he's like, compared to this dude, he's like, I'm slick as fuck.
She's like, you need to stop messing with these young guys, these 40-year-olds and below.
and in Carrie's column, she ponders like, have we become romance intolerant, which we've kind of touched on.
Yeah.
So we'll keep it moving. So she arrives at his place again for like another date night. He's in a tux. Not gonna lie, looks good.
Looks nice.
And he's like, oh, we're gonna go to the Met, to the opera, to see La Traviata, which is a famous opera, obviously. And it's like a last minute thing, and she's like, oh, I should go change, because she's pretty cash when she shows up.
Yeah, she showed up looking like a fucking Christmas elf. Why the fuck was she wearing that outfit?
I think clearly she thought they were gonna spend the night in again.
Ew,
but still,
y'all just started dating. You don't show up to my house like that. Like, please. No. You show up, have your scrub wear it like in your bag, but at least come, like you don't have to jump dressed to the nines, but like at least come and pretend you had this for effort, like in case we might go out.
Right?
Jesus. What if I was gonna take you somewhere to surprise you coming up here like you just got out of bed? How dare you?
Well, she's lucky because he has a surprise for her, and it's the Oscar de la Renta dress that she was admiring in the magazine. And I was like, God damn, that's cool. That's fucking cool.
But for her, it was still like too much. Like it was
still too much because then they go and they're about to go in the opera, but they're outside and they're like by the fountain and there's like a string quartet playing, and he's like, oh, like this is so lovely right now. Let's dance, and she literally faints. She's like a romantic overload. literally swoon worthy. Swooning is fainting.
Yeah.
It's literally swoon worthy. And then she's like, I'm an American, you got to take it down a notch.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because I've met a few European women. They're not that romantic either, so they probably be like, this is too much, you're doing too much.
So they, in their fancy clothes, go to McDonald's. And she's like, can I offer you a fry? They're French. She cracks me up. That made me laugh really hard.
Yeah, me too. I did too. Because he was like, because he played along with it too. He was like, oh, French. You should have said that earlier. Yeah. Should have started with that.
And they like kiss in front of the McDonald's employee who looks so bored. I loved that background actress. She was great.
Yeah. Look, here's my thing. I'm all about romance. I'm cool with it and stuff like that. But like, I got other customers. Can y'all like move to the side or something? Like your food's here.
They start to dance in the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And if you're those employees, you're probably like,
get out. Yes, it's New York. It's New York City, middle of Manhattan. It's probably busy. Get on, move, go sit down, go dance over there by the tables. I got other people coming in. I mean, yes, there were nobody else coming in but like, still, let's be honest. If this was a realistic thing, you'd be like, I can't dance right here. Can y'all move to the side?
Move it along, people.
Yeah. Like, you got your food. And they didn't pay yet too, because remember,
when
the girl comes back, she was like, also too, for everything that they got, she said like $9 something for everything.
Inflation
it was like
is a bitch.
Yo, I was mad. That hurt my heart. I was like, $9 for all that and a supersize? Get fucked.
Yeah, I went
try to supersize today right now and think that you ain't gonna pay fucking $15 for the one meal.
Well, they don't supersize anything anymore because of that documentary, which turned out to be fake anyway.
Sure. Well, it's also it's bullshit. It's like that they like stop supersizing. It's like, okay, what do you think is gonna happen if you eat McDonald's all the time? That's what happens. Like, you eat fast food. Period. It don't matter if it was a small or a large. Like, why?
Well, the dramatics they had in the thing where they're like, you have the liver of like an alcoholic. Turns out that dude was an alcoholic the whole time.
Right.
He was like a terrible drinker. Yeah,
I'm sure that helped him gain a little bit of weight too. You know what I mean? Like,
and his liver was already fucked up because he was a bad drinker. And
that's hilarious.
So when they got to the like results at the end of him supersizing everything for 30 days. They're like, Jesus, your liver. And it turns out it's because he was boozing. He's cleaned up now. He's fine.
The alcohol,
You know.
I think I remember hearing something like that, but yeah.
I'm not trying to claim McDonald's by any stretch.
No. But and here's the thing. I'm just mad that, like I said, they had all that food for like less than $10. Mm-hmm. That just upset me because it also upset me because you and I are of that era.
Yeah.
Where McDonald's was cheap. Decent. It was dumb cheap. Like you could get like a whole buffet of food for less than $10. Yeah. I remember when the chicken nuggets used to be like $1.50 for the 10-piece. $1.50.
What are they now? Like $10 for the 10-piece?
I mean,
like $1 a nugget.
Basically, yeah. It might be a little less. It might be like 80 cents per nugget. Yeah,
but still,
that's still not great. Especially too, because like
for reconstituted chicken parts, I better not be paying $1 a nugget.
That's right. The splurge used to be the chicken selects. Like if you had a little extra bread in your pocket, you was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna get the chicken selects.
Don't mind me. I'm gonna get these chicken selects.
Yeah, now chicken selects is like, that'd be $26.70. You be like, oh Jesus, never mind.
Like, forget it.
Never mind. That's damn near $10 a tender.
They are good though, man.
Let me tell you something though. McDonald's is mad cheap in Europe though.
Mm-hmm.
It's still cheap.
It tastes different,
and it tastes good. It tastes better too. Yeah.
I had it like one time. I got to do the one study abroad trip in high school, and I got McDonald's with the English family I was with, and I was like, this tastes different.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
and in Germany they offer curly fries.
What?
Yeah. Seasoned too. Seasoned. Delicious, my boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, because I hear the thing, and I still didn't, because I went to McDonald's just once when I was there just recently, and my friend got the curly fries, and I was like, I'm gonna get regular fries, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't really need the curly fries. She let me try one of her fries, immediate. I regret everything in my life. Every decision I've ever made. I was like, who's letting me make choices here? Why am I? Why did I get the curly fries?
Arby's shouldn't bother selling whatever meat sandwiches.
Just sell fries.
Just sell curly fries by the barrel.
100%. 100%. They have the best curly fries in the fast food game. For sure.
Load a fucking keg of curly fries in the back of my car, and I'll die happy.
Seriously. I mean, listen, I've been to Arby's before. It's not my go-to spot, but like, I really don't get it for the sandwiches. I really just get it for the curly fries.
Yeah, everyone gets.
That's really like, it's like I'll fight through this sandwich because I'm not gonna waste money because I paid for it. But like, I really just came here for the fries.
I'm here for the fries.
Yeah. I just got the sandwich because I was like, I can't just get fries. I won't get full off of just fries.
Now I want fast food real bad.
I know. Let's go to Arby's after that.
I swear on the corner, I won't name it, but like the intersection kind of near us, I swear there used to be an Arby's.
They did.
There was.
It closed down. Yeah, now it's like a chicken spot or something like a hot chicken spot. Yeah.
Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah, no, it's not Dave's. It's something else. It's like I can't remember the name of it. It's right next to the Dave's Hot Chicken, which I think is a little bit suspect. But it's basically, but it's basically the same food, honestly. Or no, is it a Dave's? No, it is.
I think it is. It is.
It is a Dave's. Yeah, because it's the inside. You can order at the window, and then there's an inside part. I was thinking about the outdoor window where you can go pick up.
Yeah, because I don't care for Dave's Hot Chicken because even the baby spice level is too much.
It's a whole chicken. It's a whole chicken that they give you. Like the tenders are like the size of your head, which is great because you're getting your money's worth. But like it's a little too seasoned though. Like the fries are a little too seasoned. It's like they didn't know when to stop when they were throwing it on top of the fries. You know?
Like I had it like one time, and by the end of like the baby sandwich I was having, I was like, why do people eat this?
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I get like the medium. I don't know why people be getting the hottest level because it's like at that point, what do you even taste?
You don't even have taste buds.
Yeah. You're tasting hot. That's why you're tasting.
Well, speaking of taste buds, do you want to just get Charlotte's story out of the way real fast?
Let's get in there.
This is a beautiful transition.
Great. Perfect transition.
So smooth, like butter. So Charlotte doesn't really have a ton of story in this. She's telling Harry after the brunch, like, about how romantic Alexander is, and Harry's like, I can be romantic. The French learned romance from me, haha. Or he says that at dinner, but still, he's like, I can treat you. He's like, I know how to romance you, and he's, I think, kind of the weird middle ground we're talking about.
Yes, because I agree. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
That literally just dawned on me.
Yeah. But when you said it, I didn't think about it until you said it. Because
he is doing just like when he was romancing Charlotte, he was doing just enough. Treating her well and everything like that. But like still lets her kind of take charge and he's the middle ground. He figured it out somehow. Yeah. So he really truly is romantic.
Well, because he's also just like that good balance of like, because every girl says they want this, and I know it's part of it is true, but also part of it is not. But like they also like he's kind of like a mixture between like good guy and bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still a little bit of an asshole, but like he treats Charlotte well enough to where she's not like, I hate him so much. Like he still can be romantic, but he can also still like sit on the couch butt naked and eat cereal. You know what I mean?
And he's not an asshole to her friends, which I think is important too. No, he's pretty nice to her friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Like is he uncouth? Is he a little brash?
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe it's maybe they're like they would find him maybe slightly irritating, but he is fundamentally a good guy and like is never mean to them.
That's true.
Or rude or like tells her like dump your fucking friend. None of that shit. Harry's got it figured out. This is why he's top of the game with the boyfriend lists. But and this is no one's fault. So Harry treats Charlotte to a night on the town. They go to a beautiful restaurant.
Yes.
They go all out on the menu. Like they order like borderline one of everything. They get like foie gras and cheese and desserts and the whole nine. And then they're at home. And they're lying in bed and kissing and kind of being a little romantic. And then you hear Harry's stomach, the bubble guts go. And he's got to rush to the bathroom. And then Charlotte's start and she has to run to their spare bathroom. And then just the rest of the night, they're both suffering. Like they start off and like she's in like pretty lingerie and he's like in something like nicer boxers or whatever, like a robe, like when they start. And then like the next scene of them, they're sweating in like the rattiest like pajamas possible. And they just have to keep like chasing each other to the bathroom.
Yeah, man, dude. That's
to like just honestly shit their brains out. It's horrible.
Food poisoning is the worst. My worst enemy. I would even wish food poisoning out. It's just a miserable experience, and it lasts for 12 hours. Like guaranteed, no matter what you do, you got to take it for 12 hours. Period. And
you feel like you're possessed. It won't stop. It just keeps coming.
And it's not the throwing up part sucks. Yes. But it's the fear of the next one. It's like, when's he gonna catch me? When's he gonna catch? Am I gonna be like too far away from the bathroom? Like, am I? What is it? Is he gonna hit me like in the middle, like trying to make some tea or something? Like, what am I gonna be able to stomach? Can
I have some Gatorade or no?
Right. If I bite the edge of this cracker, am I gonna throw it back up? Like, what's going on?
I think I have my own one that I have like a friend one. So I got food poisoning. There's this restaurant here called Lemonade that it's like bougie, but it's like, it's like trendy, cool. Cannot eat there because I ate there one time downtown during jury duty.
Yeah.
And was going through the day fine. And then about like 4 exits from my apartment, I was like,
Yeah.
I just felt things going wrong. And I just was like, stay cool. You're gonna make it. And I just like maintained this like ice cold. That I got my car parked and quietly walked upstairs, and then just immediately, bad. It was horrible, and there was nothing to be done. You just had to take it.
Just gotta take it. There's nothing you can do. There's no cure. That's what people need. They need to come up with some kind of like pill you can take to immediately like relieve the symptoms of food poisoning. That would be So whoever does that would make more money than Jeff Bezos. I can tell you.
I have taken. There's like stuff like Zofran, which is like anti-nausea stuff, but it's more for nauseousness. It's not for food poisoning. Yeah, there's nothing to be done because my friend and she's told the story. Like we had a weird like batch of like cursed movie outings where like we went to see Midsommar and there was an earthquake. We went to do like something else went wrong. But we went to see this like random movie, like a press screening thing, and we sit down and she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. But she was in the bathroom for the entire movie because she had a horrendous case of food poisoning from like a bagged salad. They sell those at the store or whatever, and they're usually they're okay, but every so often there's like, oh no, the batch with E. coli got into the system, and that's
one that didn't get washed properly.
That didn't get washed properly or something like that. But like it was so bad, we had to call an ambulance for her because there was no way she was gonna be able to sit in a car and like drive or be driven. Just kind of needed like an alternative mode of transportation. And also we're like super tight best friends, and she's like, I love you, I don't want to poop in your car, and I was like, I love you, I don't want you to poop in your car, right? No one wants to poop in anyone's car. Let's poop in this ambulance. So we got in the ER. And then she was stuck there, and it was like not super busy, but just busy enough that it took forever. And also, this is while I was going through chemo, which we'll get to later. But so I there, and I think I was wearing a mask and stuff just for safety because it was also pre-pandemic. But just for my own safety, I was wearing like a mask. But so I'm sure people thought like, oh, that bald girl's probably here for herself, and I had to keep going up and going, no, like, are you gonna take my friend back or what? Because she was just like crumpled on like a chair.
That bald girl,
because she was so dehydrated.
For yourself. I have basically PTSD from charcuterie board, because the last time I had food poisoning was from a charcuterie board.
So that movie night, I did not plan on a charcuterie board. I'm not doing one. I don't trust them. I mean, I like the idea of them, but I find them kind of messy and complicated to like assemble. Yeah,
it was like another fancy event, like kind of like what you were talking about. It was one of those. It was a art show, but it was a fundraiser for to adopt pets. And they had like had the art pieces up, and they had these are charcuterie boards that were inspired by the pieces. And, so it was nice, it was fancy, it was good and stuff like that. But the exhibit was going on for, I believe, 6 to 8 hours, and we got there like a tail end of it. And I think this is when they stopped refreshing the boards. And I walked my stoned ass in there high. Stoned? Oh yeah, I was high as bug.
No, Christopher.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, I was ready because they had. I didn't even want to go. My friend was like, they have pets there. I was like, I'm in.
I'll pet some pets. I'm high.
I'm high. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And rolled up in there, high as hell. Rolled up on every charcuterie board, housing them. 6 hours later, I was like,
well, no.
How dare you do this to me? I was supporting a good cause.
Yeah. And that's the end of Charlotte and Harry's story, though. That's like literally all they do is shit.
I know.
But people love the I will say the final shot of them is like passed out on the bathroom floor together, like, and people are like, it's kind of romantic because it's like they're just going through this thing together, and it's like sweet in a gross way, but it's like funny.
It is though. No, it is, because they were like supporting each other. They weren't judging each other. It wasn't like, oh, you look disgusting. She wasn't like, oh, you're disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, because even to the point where they ended up going, they were trying to keep it in separate bathrooms, but couldn't, because it was just getting too rough, and they just accepted it. It was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna smell your odors, and you're gonna smell mine. Yeah.
So, who do you want to do next, Miranda or Samantha?
Well, Samantha probably has the juiciest of stories, so let's do Miranda.
Yeah, let's do Miranda. So, Miranda in the opening of the episode is with Steve, and they're enjoying autumn in New York and having some beers outside, having a good time. They're watching a bickering couple go by on the sidewalk, and Steve's like, hey, that's gonna be us in 30 years. And Miranda's like, that already was us. And they are laughing about it. And they're
it's kind of
still them.
Yeah, I was like, let's be honest, it's still them. Because even in the last episode, when they were, when Robert was kind of their enemy or whatever, she was still griping at Steve and being like, we're gonna do this, and this is how we're gonna do it, and blah blah blah.
So, but they're laughing about it at least, which is good. And he's like, no, we won't do that. And they share all these things they don't want. Like, she's like, I don't want to become your mom. He's like, I don't want to be a slacker, which is very nice to see that self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Really appreciate that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, at least self-aware man. That's good.
We respect it. We like it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to be moody. And then she suddenly goes, will you marry me? And he's like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. And he goes, hell yeah, which is actually kind of sweet. It made me laugh.
Bullshit. That's not sweet. You're supposed to be a man. How dare you let that woman propose to you, you little man?
I think we all know Steve is not.
Well, it's also too because it's just like, to me, and I'm not trying to like be all like macho man, but it's just like, to me, it seems like another way of her like emasculating him, because like she kind of does it on a consistent basis, and this is just like another way for her to like
it's another take control thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, because like also too, the way she didn't even ask in like a nice way. She just like, you want to get married? Like, I'm not like I'm not doing anything else. We already have a kid. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and imagine if that was reversed, right? Imagine if he proposed to her like that. She probably would pour that beer on his head. You know what I mean? She'd have a fit if he asked her that way.
Yeah, I think with her, everything is a very double standard.
I don't like it. I like the reversal of it, because you don't see this in TV, you know what I mean, that often, but it's just very interesting because, yeah, it's just like, I'm like, how's this dude with her? What's he doing? What does he see?
They've never made sense as a couple to me.
No, I don't get it. Like, you know what you're gonna be into for life.
That baby for months.
Barely liked that baby. She did. That's true though. That's true. She like just started liking her baby.
She like just came on board with that baby.
Yeah, it's like right around the time Steve and Debbie got together. She was like, I guess I kind of like my baby now.
I guess I kind of like this kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious.
But anyway, so they're at the brunch and they're talking, all the romance stuff is too cringe for Miranda. And that's when she goes, that's all artificial. And she's like, and that's why I proposed to Steve over $3 beers. And the girls are all totally shocked.
Yeah.
And excited for her, though. And she's like, everybody calm the fuck down. I'm not engaged. And she's like, we're not doing any like wedding stuff. No, bridesmaids, no like big ceremony, no this, no that, blah, 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 blah. Which tracks for her. I don't find it that. But she's kind of like fucking rude about it.
Well, it's also just like so ridiculous, or like almost hypocritical. It's like, if you don't want to all do the wedding stuff, but you still want to have a wedding, like, why do you even at that? Just go sign the paperwork and be done with it.
Yeah, well, she's asked that later by Carrie while they're on the phone, because they're well, before we get to that, just
I'm sorry, I jumped ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. But like, after she kind of like leaves because the girls are all like crying a bit and like happy for her. She even like teases Samantha. She's like, I expected more from you with the tears. But I think they're just happy
Samantha's a secret. I think she's a secret romantic anyway.
Softie.
I think she's a secret softie for sure. I mean, and we saw that when she was with Richard. By the way, like, that's the only guy she's had that's like really made her all like, giddy and sweet and romantic and shit.
And so like Miranda and Steve are walking home with groceries and discussing like the wedding planning, because they do want to do it kind of fast, and understandably, because they aren't planning anything huge, so they don't need to like plan something weeks and weeks or months or even years down the line. Right. But like one of the bags breaks, Steve steps in gum, and that's when they discover this really pretty kind of community garden park, and they're like, that would be a nice, not corny place to marry. And what do you call it? She's talking to Carrie about it on the phone while she's dress shopping. Although I do love her going, I'm not wearing white. I had the baby.
Yeah, like,
we're not fooling anybody.
Cat's out the bag, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, jig is up. It's not.
Yeah.
No one is.
I respect that so hard, because it's like, dude, obviously if there's a baby there, white is supposed to mean virginity. Yeah. You ain't a virgin. Like, we kind of skipped right over there, and like because even women still try to do that with like the off whites, like like a pearl or something, like, or like eggshell.
Champagne.
It's like, like, stop it,
blush,
stop it.
If I thought like people wouldn't think I was insane, or who knows, it all honestly in a big way depends probably on who I end up with and like what we want to do. I mean, I don't think I look that good in like stark white. I'm like, I like better in blue. Like, why wouldn't I want like my wedding dress to be like a pretty blue color?
Yeah.
You know, but
aren't you supposed to have something blue at the wedding?
Yeah, anyway? You're supposed to have something blue anyway.
Yeah.
But Miranda and Carrie are chatting on the phone, and and Carrie's talking about their romance, and she does bring up your point though. It's like, if Miranda doesn't want any of the wedding stuff, why not just do it at a courthouse? And Miranda does say she wants to say the vows out loud in front of people she loves, which makes not a ton of sense to me.
But here's the thing: you could also do that at a courthouse, because when you do a courthouse wedding, you have to have witnesses. So if you just brought like Carrie and then like Steve's mom, who's clearly his best friend,
yeah, I know. Well,
I thought it was Aiden, but the mom keeps making more appearances than Aiden has in the last 2 seasons.
Well, if you were Aiden, would you keep hanging out with Steve if you knew your crazy fucking ex-girlfriend was going to be there?
That's true.
I do mean that.
And he does have a wife and kid now.
Yeah.
Maybe another kid, so it could be kids at this point. We don't know. But yeah, you're right. That's a good point. So yeah, it's his mom. So yeah, just have the mom and Carrie there, and boom, you got your witnesses. You said it in front of people. So you still want to have a wedding. That's the thing. It's like you're lying a little bit. You're lying a little bit.
Yeah.
To me, and that's the thing too. It's like, to me, I feel like, because to me, her wanting to have like a simple wedding like that, it's not necessarily that she wants to save money or that she doesn't want to have.
Oh yeah.
Like the big, presentation about it. I just think that she ain't really satisfied with the partner that she chose. That's just that's me.
I don't think you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just saying, because like, I know most women, when they're really in love with a dude and that's like their quote unquote first choice, like the guy that they know for sure that they want to be with, like they want to celebrate him, they want to show him off, they want the world to see that they got this man. And the fact that she's like, let's keep it low key, let's get like 5 of our friends, you get 4 of your friends, and we'll have a simple little wedding. It's like, it kind of feels like this whole thing is just her giving up.
Yeah, because Steve's made a lot of improvements. He's obviously become self-aware and all those good things. But at the same time, I just like knowing who she is and what she kind of wanted and planned. In a way, in hindsight, it makes some of what happens in the reboot make a little sense. But I'm
just saying, because
at this time we didn't know what we knew that now.
Right. I'm just saying, because that's what I'm saying. Like I said, from what I know about women, they show them off. Because like, remember when let's go back to a few episodes, right? When she was dating Robert.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he's a doctor. He works for the Knicks. She was, she made sure everybody knew that shit. You know what I mean? I have a hot black doctor who works for the Knicks. Like, she made sure, like, and I'm not just talking about like when she was trying to make Steve jealous at the park or whatever. I'm talking about like, to the friends,
that's how she like described him to the girls.
She kept any moment she could to bring it up and have that discussion or that topic, discussed. She brought it up, and she don't do that with Steve. So that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it just shows that this ain't really the dude she wants, or that she thinks she wants. She's just kind of like, he's the father of my child. It makes sense. Might as well.
Because even like in my head, my like imaginary future wedding. Well, one, because I'm not religious. I wouldn't necessarily do it in a church per se.
That's fine.
And I would assume my partner would be the same way. Because we would hopefully agree on that angle of things. What do you call it? So in my head though, it's like, but it's still like vows. I still want to like dress up. I still want him to be dressed up and like some ceremony to it. But ultimately I do want to just throw like a fucking raging party, which would be cool. Because I'm not like, I was just watching something about like kind of how out of control weddings are now with like, seat covers and favors and flowers and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily feel like I needed to do all that. Like,
that's a lot.
I wouldn't force, bridesmaid, being the bridesmaid, it's expensive. I wouldn't necessarily want to do that. We'll see. It's all theoretical, but I don't know.
I'm also just of the belief, especially when we're talking about the expensive side. It's like, if you're having a wedding and you want me to be in it, you got to pay for my accoutrement.
That doesn't happen as often,
but it doesn't happen because weddings are fucking expensive. But I think that's a solid no, because you're asking me to take off time from work, and especially if you're having like a destination wedding, like the only thing I should be paying for is my flight, maybe my hotel.
Mm-hmm.
At least, you know, saying you should have a suit made for me, ready to go. Like, or you should be paying for that for me to have that made. You know, especially if I'm in the wedding party. Like, that's just how I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate over that.
Yeah.
I remember the first wedding I was in. I bought my own bridesmaid dress for it, and my grandma was like, "She's not paying for it." I was like, "No, she's not."
Yeah, well, traditionally you're supposed to. That's why weddings were a little bit different back then, right? Because it wasn't just the two couples paying for everything. It was like
families were paying
for it. Yeah, so it was both sides. So everybody was pitching in from all over the family. Mm-hmm. That's why you could afford to buy, you know, bridesmaids their dresses, or your groomsmen their suits or their tuxes or whatever, because it was an entire family ordeal. But you don't really see that now. Most couples are paying for, like, you know, a good percentage of the wedding, and then it's like maybe the nuclear family or their immediate family, which is like, you know, moms and dads. But like, it used to be everybody, aunts, uncles, everybody.
So. Yeah. So then we get to the wedding, and it is nice. And I have to say, I do like the dress Miranda has on. It's like a dark, like wine red, like velvet burgundy kind of thing. Yes. It almost looks like a jacket over like a dress. So it fits her style like really perfectly. It's a great like non-bridal look. Yeah. And I actually like everybody's look, wedding looks in this. It's just nice.
Yeah.
Autumny. Fun.
Although I think Samantha was doing a little too much with the skunk.
Of course, she was doing too much with her skunk scarf thing.
A little too much with the skunk shawl. I don't know. Didn't really necessary.
Wouldn't be her without it, though. To be honest,
very fair. That's very fair.
I think that would be right. Yes, very fair. And yes, as you said, Steve's mom is there at the wedding. And we'll get into the other stuff that happens at the reception, because they do say that's the one thing Miranda does like about weddings is like eating and the food. I was like, hell yeah, that's you. Oh, yeah. And they look like they're at a nice like little restaurant. Yeah. Like, I would love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Honestly, some of the best food ever is at weddings. Yeah. And it's free. I mean, free automatically makes it taste better. So
yeah, you're like, delicious.
Delicious.
So Miranda is talking to Steve's mom, and she's like, "I love your dress," and she's like, "I admire you for not pretending and wearing white," like you were saying earlier.
I respect that, yeah.
And then I just love this scene because I think she's like a little drunk or whatever, and she's like, "I have to tell you something now that we're family, and it's private." And Miranda's like, "Okay," and the mom is like, "I wore white to the wedding, but I shouldn't have. I was walking down the aisle, and she was like, and I wore white on the outside, and my Jackie," which I'm assuming is Steve's brother or older sister, maybe.
No, she said Jackie O. I think there was like a dress and related to the what's her name?
Oh, I thought you were saying my Jackie as in like
no, like a style child. No. She's talking about she was wearing like a dress underneath to kind of like offset the purity of it.
No. I think she was saying she was pregnant when she walked down the aisle.
You think?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I call it dress because I know that they sometimes refer to like a certain style of dress as a Jackie O.
Yes, but not in this. She was saying my Jackie. I think she was implying she was pregnant when she walked down the aisle.
Fair enough. I haven't seen my thoughts because like either one still worked, but I thought she was meant like she like did it to kind of like as a a little act of rebellion underneath,
No, because she's all ashamed because she's there. I was just reading some joke about like people saying, in certain parts of the country, the first baby takes 6 months to cook, and the second baby takes 9 months to cook. As in, a lot of preemies,
right.
Like, oh, my parent was born 6 months after my grandparents were married,
right?
So except they were also like 8 pounds and totally healthy.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those in my family.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, yeah, that sounds pretty familiar.
Like, oh man, they were premature. How are they doing? Like, well, they came out 8 pounds, 20 some odd inches long.
Full head of hair.
Full head of
hair. Yeah. Didn't need an incubation or nothing.
I think they're doing okay. Yeah.
It's like a completely healthy baby, but born early.
Born early. Miracle.
Like, nah. Meanwhile, in my family, what we would be saying is like, oh, it's the Mack genes are very strong strong genes. That's what they are.
Strong baby.
Very strong. They're strong babies. We make strong berries. It's like, or somebody lying, or somebody's lying.
The timeline's a little off.
Or y'all lied through your teeth. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, it happens. But then that's when Miranda hands Steve's mom off to Steve to go get food, and she joins the girls for the discussion that we're going to get into now that we're going to back it up to earlier in the episode.
Yes.
So, let's talk about Samantha.
Yes. Samantha wants boobs.
Samantha wants boobs.
I thought she already had. I know they weren't like large, but I thought they were like they proportionate to her body.
Proportionate to her body.
Yeah.
So she has a hot figure to begin with.
Yeah.
But she does say they're gift shopping for Miranda, and I do love Charlotte struggling to like find her something without it being too bridal or fakey, and she's like, "Why is it?" Like Charlotte's like melting down.
You know, it's fun. Yeah,
so
you know why? You know what it makes me? It makes me laugh because it's like the way that Charlotte's trying to shop for Miranda is like a woman trying to shop for a dude. Like, I never know what to really get us. It's because like we don't really want anything because most of the shit that we want, we just like buy it and then that's it. Like we don't really, like unless it's like something big, like unless we're gonna go and like buy us a new lawnmower that we've been looking for or something like that. It like really ain't shit else that we really need. So yeah.
Like I love my dad and my brother. They are so hard to shop for. Although shout out to my dad for basically going, "Do not stop buying me things." He's about to turn 70. And like for Christmas and birthdays and stuff, he's like, I don't want anything. I don't need.
Yeah, because like I said, we don't like men throughout the year, like whatever we need, we just buy for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe every now and then it might be like some like little trinkets or whatever that we may want.
Like if there's like a fun gag gift or something like that I can get for my dad, I will. Yeah. But like this year I just didn't even do anything at Christmas, and like he wasn't like, "Where's my gift?"
Dude, and it's so funny too because I don't know, I had an ex that she would always get mad at me when she wanted to buy me something because I would just like I would have her, she'd be like, "Oh no, what do you want?" It's like, "I want this," and it'd be like something I need. She's like, "I want to buy you something you need." It's not romantic. It's like, I don't need romance, woman. I'm a dude. Okay, I have testosterone. This is what I need. I don't need no damn romance.
See, she's trying to be romantic though, and now she's worried you're not going to be romantic because you're not thinking on the romance.
No, because level. But when I buy, okay, I buy things. When I buy things for a significant other, I buy things that they need, but it's also still romantic because I'm also thinking about like them and how they like. I'm thinking about them and how it's going to benefit their life, and also. It's still like me thinking about things like I'm paying attention to things. Like I had an ex that she used to like working in bed on a computer, but she would always be sitting up in like this scrunched up way that would like hurt her back. So I bought her this desk, this like collapsible desk that you could put in your bed while she works that allowed her to like sit up and not have to strain her neck.
That is nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's still something you need, but it's also like I'm thinking about you. It's like I'm, don't want you to get the wild, osteoporosis in this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But anyway, they're shopping for Miranda. It's going mediocre, but they're trying. And so Samantha's like, "Ladies, I have a confession. I want to tell you something." And she's like, "I love my body. I always have." And they're like, "Duh."
We know. We know, Sam.
No shit, girl. But she's like, "I want a boob job." And she does it. She wants it after looking at In Touch magazine, which is such a funny like time capsule moment of the thing.
Yeah, that's not a magazine anymore, is it?
I think they went under. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Us Weekly's still around, but In Touch I think is out.
Yeah,
like, and on the scale of tabloidy, they were pretty bad. In Touch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's still around, it's like a tabloid bag, right?
Yeah, and it was then too.
Okay.
They named like Smith the hot guy to watch, and like they have all these photos of him from like a week in his life or whatever. All these paparazzi photos, and Samantha's in a lot of them, and that's what she notices how small her boobs are.
Got you. Okay, that makes more sense. Because I was just like, out of nowhere, you feeling insecure about your body? But yeah, that makes more sense now.
Yeah. Fun fact about paparazzi photos: most reputable outlets now, including many that I have worked for, after Jennifer, they didn't do it in the UK, or they haven't been doing it in the UK for a while. But Jennifer Garner and Halle Berry both lobbied for laws to restrict paparazzi photographing children. Because it was invasive and scary. They there was a big chunk of time where celebrities were like, if we have these people screaming in my kid's face at questions, uncomfortable questions, and just generally like terrorizing my kid for a photo, and I'm not having it. And so I remember,
the kid didn't want to be famous, the parents did. Don't mess with the kids.
They do. Paparazzi still get photos of them with kids. I don't know how, still pretty invasive, but now most of the outlets I've worked for, and again most reputable outlets, just won't even buy the photo if the kid is in it, or it's like something the kid was at, because it's still kind of questionable.
I like that.
So it's the right move, because as you said, the kid didn't ask for any of that.
Like they just
and
were born.
Paparazzis are bad.
Bro. Yeah, man, they will do the most. I saw this one today. It was like a little short video. I think it was on TikTok. It was like Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield literally had to like get out of the car, move the paparazzi from in front of the car, and then like guide her through, so she could drive, because they kept like stepping in front of the car every time he would get in. I was like, Jesus, y'all don't even care if y'all get ran over. Like, if I was a celebrity, I'd just be running these bitches over. Like, okay, fine.
No, but then they can sue you and get all that.
Now they can't. That's it. If you ain't in a crosswalk and you ain't got the green light, you are free game. Okay, don't cross. Technically, I'm doing the legal thing. If you're jumping in the middle of the road to try to get a picture of me, you just put yourself in harm's way. To me, that's a suicide. I helped you. I'm Dr. Kevorkian, okay? I helped you out.
I haven't seen that video of Andrew Garfield. Oh, that just makes me like him more. God damn it.
Yeah. That was when they were together.
No. She's married to a writer from SNL now.
That's right. Yeah.
And I believe they have a kid. You don't remember offhand. And probably. He is, I think, single, but may or may not be in love with that girl who does the chicken shop date thing on YouTube. It's a British girl. He's like, there's like 2 different clips of her interviewing him on the red carpet, and he is like so giggly. It's like it killed me and my friends who do red carpet interviews who are single, who are like, okay, that's kind of the dream though. Is you keep meeting them on meeting your celebrity of choice on the red carpet, and they are so taken with you while you're interviewing them that eventually you go and get married. But
I mean,
I don't know.
It can happen. It can happen. It can happen. It can happen.
Anyway, so they're looking at the In Touch, and Samantha's like, my boobs are too small. I noticed it. And Charlotte's like, you don't need this. And Samantha's like, I'm not gonna go crazy and get giant, like, freak show boobs. She's like, I want something like, I love that she's like, I want something like Carrie's. Now, to me, Carrie has not really had, like, she's got small boobs. They're perky.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what perky. It is. Yeah. It's like they like fit her frame.
Yes, yeah. And then Charlotte's like, well, what about mine? And she's like, well, yours are pretty good too. And then I love Samantha going to like play with him, and Charlotte's like, all right, take care. It was just a cute little moment. It was really funny, actually.
Yeah, well, it was kind of one of those things too, because that was like Samantha also like being a good friend and like giving her a little bit of the compliment,
And I love Samantha goes to like a club downtown and is observing boobs, trying to decide like what's like Goldilocks, like what's just right for her. And she's next to like the most obnoxious dudes who are like audibly ogling these, like every woman who passes by. And Samantha's like so irritated. She turns around to the bartender, who has a great rack
just right there, just right in your face, boobs.
The boobs.
Yeah.
And Samantha's like, you either have great natural God-given boobs or a great doctor. And the bartender immediately is like, oh, it's Dr. So-and-so. These have paid for themselves in tips alone. I'll give you his number right now.
I mean, that kind of is a great thing, because like, you can spend a lot of money on that, but like if you work in an industry like that, especially like bartending or bottle service, and stuff like that,
bartending.
Like, you're gonna get you'll probably get that back within like the first month of you going back to work. You know what I mean? Because men are gross.
Men are gross.
We do it. Yep. We'll put the dollars right in there.
Have you seen those stitches on TikTok where there's like a hot girl who like does the clothing transition thing where she'll go from like kind of a full coverage outfit to like a skimpy one, and they often have really big, awesome hot boobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then but then some other girl will stitch that and be like, I am no better than a man, because your eyes just go right to him.
Yeah.
And you're like, right on, sister, but I am no better than a man.
My favorite ones are the ones where it's like the wife will show the man, like show their husband like the girl's video, and she'll be like showing like her butt in like a tight dress or like or something like that, and she'll the video cut to it and be like, so what color was the poster? You're like, yeah. Oh no, I didn't know it was gonna be a quiz.
No, not fair.
You didn't tell me there was going to be a quiz after. If I'd know that, I'd have studied everything.
My brother was joking that he's like, I don't get like that stuff coming across my page. I was like, yeah, it's because you're not a dirtbag who's like watching all that shit. You're watching, like, we've been watching like comedy stuff. Basically.
Right? Yeah. Man, that's the thing. As far as like, if there's nothing that makes you believe in algorithm, TikTok will make you believe in algorithm. Because like, if you like 2 kinds of videos, it starts invading your entire feed. Like it's crazy how much, like if you like nothing, then you'll just get random videos at all time. But the more you like shit, like you'll see basically that same video. Because like now that I use it somewhat on a regular basis, I definitely see like the same 5 type of videos on my entire feed.
I'm trying to like more travel tip ones though for my upcoming.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to change I'm gonna change my algorithm too, man. I'm gonna change it big time.
But here we go into Samantha's situation. Be forewarned, we're getting a little serious now. It's a little sad. I don't want to say sad. I mean, it is, but like,
it's downer.
It's a downer. Yeah. So Samantha is at the doctor getting the consult for the boob job, and he's feeling checking things out, and he goes, "Oh, before we do anything, you have a lump on your breast that you need to go get checked out before I can do any work." And she is like, what?
Yeah.
So Samantha picks Carrie up for the wedding, and she's telling Carrie about the consultation, and she just like drops the bomb that she's like, I have cancer. I got a biopsy done. They're going to remove more next week. And the only reason I'm doing all this to you right now is I don't want to accidentally do it at the wedding. It's, it's small, it's early. That's all the info I have. Let's move on.
Yeah.
And I have to say, as a cancer survivor, cancer patient, one of the hardest things is telling other people that you have it.
Yeah.
And I'm like laughing about it now, but it is such an awkward like conversation to have with people. Because I obviously I talked to my family like immediately, obviously. That's one thing. Like the mom, dad, brother, everybody was like knew within the day. I was like, I saw the mass in my X-ray. I'm going into the ER. And my aunt and uncle here, and on. But then I called out of work, and I think I just kind of left it vague at work. And then it had been a couple days before, and I had like another day before I was going to be like checked out of the hospital, and I was like, I gotta start telling people what's happening. Yeah. And so I was like, I drafted some texts and like, sometimes I will say, you don't want to do a phone call. You just don't feel like talking. That's the beauty of text, is just being able to be like, I am giving you all this information. I do not want to talk about it, but here's what's happening. I will talk with you about it at a later date.
I get that, man, because also it's like, you're dealing with it too.
Yeah.
And sometimes people like even subconsciously we get a little selfish because like once you tell us the information, now you have to deal with our feelings about it. It's like I'm still trying to deal with my own, and I can't really be there and support you. Then it makes you feel like shit because like the person's kind of looking for you to tell them that everything's gonna be okay. And it's like, but I'm the one with the cancer.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you tell me it's gonna be okay? And then on that flip side, it's like you kind of don't want that sympathy because like you want to, sometimes you don't want it to be real, or you you're just ready to fight it. You're like, I don't care what it's gonna take. I'm just ready to like
Yeah,
let's get it done.
The more people you have to tell, the more real it feels, because it's a surreal thing to be told.
Yeah.
To find out, you're like, what? Why would my cells betray me like this? How could you?
I've done so good things for you.
I've done pretty good by you.
Yeah. And I'm only saying I haven't had cancer myself. I'm like saying this because I know it's like my brother had it and my mom had breast cancer.
Oh yeah.
So these are the things that we discussed. Because when she told me through text, and I was like, first of all, you call me. But then I realized maybe I shouldn't have been so upset by the fact, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because of what you were saying, like, you're not really trying to deal with everybody else's emotions right now.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. So Carrie thanks her for telling her, and Samantha's like, I'm sorry, I'm putting a cloud over the day. I know I'm gonna be fine. And she's like, I just don't want to lose my breasts, which is obviously a common concern with breast cancer, and a tough thing for a lot of women to go through.
But I mean, she's gonna get implants anyway, right? So
yeah, they can do reconstruction.
Yeah.
If I don't think she ends up going the mastectomy route in the show, but they can do that. They can give you new boobies, but still, any surgery, that's a lot of surgery. It's a lot of body trauma to go through.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whether or not you're like, oh, cool, new titties.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a procedure, and it's still and still Samantha's gonna get like the perfect, not the
top of the line,
like the top of the line procedure, the under the muscle procedure.
So they get to the wedding, and like during the vows, Carrie kind of holds Samantha's hand, and it's a nice little moment. And they're at the reception, like lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. And I love they're talking with Charlotte, and Charlotte's like, Samantha, you look really pretty today. And Samantha goes, thanks, I have cancer.
Why would you tell poor Charlotte like that? That's so mean. She wasn't trying to be mean, obviously, but it still was like, that was so mean. Don't do Charlotte. Charlotte, the most like fragile one in the entire group. Don't tell her like that. You gotta tell her like while she's eating a cookie or something. You gotta trigger her, right? Give her a cupcake first, and then tell her that you have.
And so Miranda joins them, and she notices that like when she sits down, they're like, "Hi," and she's like, "You guys are acting weird. What's up with that?" And she's like, "What, you think I've become like an asshole bride person?" And Samantha's like, No. I will talk to you about it tomorrow. It's not a today conversation. And Miranda's like, fuck that. Tell me now. And Samantha's like, because Miranda's like, it's my special day. You have to do what I say. I'm the bride. Haha. Tell me what's happening right now. And Samantha's like, well, I have cancer. Now it's my special day. Like, I do feel bad that she like felt like she had to answer. It's a tricky thing.
And that's another thing too, is like, because clearly Miranda doesn't like view this as a special day. So it's like,
right?
Again, because like if I was Steve and I heard that, like, oh, so you made her tell you this tragic news on our day, like, so you want to have a nice day with it? Okay,
it's not as bad as like when someone proposes at your wedding.
But that's straight up selfish, bro. That is the most selfish move you can pull.
And yet I read so many stories of it happening, because so many times it's so clear people are like, oh, sweet, there's a free party being planned.
Right.
I'll do that there. Or making baby announcements. Anything that's like not related to
that might be the most selfish move, other than like maybe unaliving yourself at somebody's wedding. Like that's probably like, you know what I mean? And that's like 2 notches above proposing at the wedding. You know
just barely.
It's barely beating it. You know what
I mean? But Miranda's like, tell me. Samantha tells her, and they're like, but you should go back to your people. And Miranda's like, no, you guys are my people. Fuck all these people at this party, apparently. Tell me everything. And so Samantha does, and that's kind of the end of the episode, is where they leave off. It did remind me, it wasn't a great movie overall, but I did kind of enjoy in the Thor Love and Thunder movie, because Natalie Portman's character has cancer in it, and like
they never say what kind, right?
No, but it's pretty, you get
aggressive.
To it's aggressive, but I was also gonna say it's pretty white lady, you get to keep your hair cancer.
And she only kept her hair because she's Natalie Portman in a movie. Like she was going through chemo. If this was real life, she probably would have lost all that shit. Very rare that people keep their hair through chemo.
Oh, I get judgy now when I'm watching stuff. I'm like, softly full head of hair you got there.
Yeah. Well, she did have the power of Thor, so that did
She did have the power of Thor. And also nowadays, it's not a guarantee and not everybody gets to use it. It doesn't work for everybody, but they have these cold cap things that apparently help prevent.
That's what I hear. Yeah, like an ice pack on the head or something like that kind of helps.
It can help a lot.
Yeah.
But I almost laughed out loud in the theater, but it ended up being kind of a dead quiet moment, and I was like, oh, it's only funny if you like maybe get that it's meant to be a dark humor thing. Is they're on like whatever ship they're going to space in or whatever, and he's like, Jane, I love you, and she just goes, I have cancer. And I laughed so hard because I was like, it was just so fucking funny, and like the right amount of like, oh, you got it, like it. To me, it captured the difficulty of having to tell people.
Right? Yeah. That's yeah.
In a very, to me, humorous way.
Well, because like in a way that was like, it's like bad timing, but also kind of perfect timing because he's like confessing his love to her. Yeah. She's like, oh, before you start picturing our lives
before you
together,
start going down that road. Yeah.
It's like, before you think about the future, let me tell you, it might not be what you think it's going to be.
What's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's an okay movie overall, but I did enjoy that.
That's hilarious. I'm imagining like all the people when you laugh, just like looking at you like.
I stifled it. It was like it was the packed like fancy like premiere theater, and I was like, I was like, this is proud. But then I also, I ended up crying during it. I was in
there's some cry moments. Yeah,
it was cry worthy. Just the storyline and resonating with me, and then also
that first scene with Christian Bale and his little girl was like so crying moment. That was sad as shit. Yeah, it was like, damn, y'all, can y'all wait can we get a little action first?
And also, we were smack dab in the middle. I had just come back from my car being destroyed, and like my mom was still in the middle of it.
I totally forgot about your car getting stolen.
I was like,
and
Thunder 11 Thunder's hitting me real weird right now.
It was a lot.
It was a lot going on, actually, and so that's part of why I haven't seen Wakanda Forever.
Hey, it's on Disney Plus. February 1st.
Yeah.
Disney, you're not slick, by the way. Disney, you're not slick. I know what y'all doing. Oh, also, fucking Mattress Firm. They're doing this new campaign where it's like it just came out today. Where it's like, who's your favorite president? And Abraham Lincoln comes out. They're like trying to sell mattress. I'm like, okay, Emancipation Proclamation. We know you're not low. Okay, we see right through you. We see right through it.
But because I heard
I'm still gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah, I know. I heard the Rihanna song on the radio, like out of the blue, and I was like sobbing. And so I texted my friend who I know, like, was going to see it ahead of me, like at the premiere and stuff. I was like she saw it, and I said, "Hey," and I was having kind of like a low week anyway. And I was like, "Hey, scale of 1 to 10, should I like? What are the odds I'm gonna get fucked up by Wakanda Forever?" And she was like, "Do not go see this movie."
Yeah.
She was like, "It's good."
Listen, it's gonna fuck you up. Yeah.
She's like, "It's good. It's not." She's like, "It's not a quality issue. You will be very sad."
Yeah.
I was like, "Perfect. Thank you for telling me."
Yeah.
And
when you do watch this movie, I recommend that you do have somebody there with you, especially for you.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need it.
There's got a lot going on.
Yeah, you're gonna need somebody to just be there. You ain't gonna be sobbing all day, but it's gonna hit you in the feels.
Yeah. It's like I've heard, so I was like, okay. I was like, we're gonna give that one a pass then.
Yeah,
we're not gonna like try to orchestrate go seeing it with anybody. If you catch the drift about previous Crow, when I missing me, they're like like sobbing.
No, that's a movie you got to go see with a friend because it's gonna hit you in the feels. You don't need somebody that's like you're like trying to be romantic with it.
Be like, hey, you ever seen an adult lady cry at a superhero movie for 2 hours before?
You're about to get it today.
Guess who's doing it now?
Hilarious.
So yes, that's the episode. And that's our episode.
Yay.
You can find us on the internet most easily at Show Me What Podcast on Instagram. That'll take you to Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, where you should like and subscribe to all those things that I just said. And then you can follow us individually at me, Elizabeth Movies. I screwed that up.
Wait, now they're gonna be confused. They're like, at me? Is that where?
No. The handle is at Elizabeth Movies.
There you go.
What's yours?
You can find me on all the social medias at Christopher T. Mack.
And as always, we have the Arlo Australia candles. Promo code Show Me Miss, save 10% on your wonderful candles, because Valentine's Day is coming up, and why not treat your sweetheart to some good smelling candles? Let me
tell you something. You will be winning if you get her this, okay?
Set the mood.
It's just the right romantic, okay? Girls love candles, okay? Yeah. And they love them when they smell good.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
Period.
I don't even like candles that often in my own home, and yet I have several.
Yeah. And you're never gonna turn it down if somebody bought it for you.
No.
Yeah. If someone bought me a candle, I'll be like, I appreciate it, but like, I know with a woman, they'd be like, oh my god.
You're like, oh shit, I can't.
As long as it smells good, though. If it's a trash smell, you lose points. But if it's a great smell, like Arlo Australia, every single one of them is.
I keep saying they're better than Bath and Body Works. It's totally true, because the Bath and Body Works scents are out of control, like too intense, like and fakey. Like I got from a Secret Santa at work one year. I actually liked. There was like a snowflake one that was kind of like fresh and a little clean, but there was like. It was like a gingerbread cookie thing, and it was like, whoa, like just so like intense. Like, couldn't you like it had a little screw top lid, thank God, because you took one whiff of that and you're like, whoo! But not in a good way. Like, it wasn't like, ooh, yummy cookies. It was like, no.
Oh no, yeah.
So in short,
surprisingly,
candles will not do that to you.
That's crazy. Which is good. I never thought I'd smell too much cookie, but that's apparently you can do it.
It's because it's fake, so it's not the like good like when you're like, oh yeah, you're really like huffing a batch of cookies.
Respect. I respect that. Yeah, I get that.
It's because your brain kind of knows it's chemicals.
Yeah.
And not like, oh, I know everything is chemicals, but you know what I mean, artificial.
Well, not in all Australia, because they ain't got no chemicals. But not with
it's
all soy-free racks and lead-free wicks, baby. So you ain't got to worry about none of those chemicals, baby. It's all natural shit.
All good.
Boom.
And we will see you next time.
Like and subscribe.